There are so many theories out there about how to grow on Instagram, and many of them are not true. Whether it's about hashtags, trending reel audios, or whether or not you can beat the algorithm, there is a lot of debate out there about how all of this stuff works. Recently, I got to have a one-on-one call with a media expert from Meta, yes, the company that actually owns Instagram and knows for sure how all of this stuff works. And you know your girl recorded the entire thing, so I can share my findings with you.
We recommend 3 to 8.
Okay, yeah.
3 to 8 hashtags.
In your opinion, like, does it really matter whether you've edited your reel inside the Instagram app?
We recommend to post between 3 to 5 times a week.
So I am ready to dispel some myths and go over the current strategies that are working really well to help you grow on Instagram in 2024. Welcome back to another coffee chat with Katie. Of course, I'm spilling some tea today, so I'm drinking a matcha instead of a coffee. Today I am parked on the beach in La Ventana, Mexico, and I whipped up a nice iced matcha latte with oat milk. As always, let me know in the comments what you are drinking. And let's dive right into it. The first lie about Instagram growth that we need to address today is the lie that you need to post only reels to grow on Instagram right now. Here's the thing. Reels are, without a doubt, the most effective way to reach a wider new audience of viewers and gain new followers. However, that doesn't mean that other forms of posting on Instagram aren't worth your time. A lot of people forget that an effective growth strategy as a content creator isn't just about gaining new followers, it's actually about maintaining the attention and the engagement of the new followers that you do gain. And the best way to do that is through not only posting reels consistently, which obviously that's important, that's how you bring new people in, but you also need to consistently post carousels and stories. These different types of posts on Instagram serve different purposes within your strategy as a content creator, but personally I really see carousels and stories as kind of the next most important post formats after reels right now. These different types of posts on the app serve different purposes within your growth strategy, and that became incredibly clear to me in my conversation with Meta.
We do recommend some carousels mixed in, some kind of different content mixed in, or different content style mixed in.
Yeah,
just because like reels are more destined to reach new people that haven't seen your account yet, that aren't followers yet, while the carousels are more intended for your community. So I think it's perfect if you try to mix them in every once in a while.
So while it's true that posting reels consistently will help to grow the size of your audience, posting carousels and stories consistently will help to strengthen and build that bond between you and your audience. Consider a posting schedule like this. Maybe you post 2 reels per week and 1 carousel per week, and then you post on your stories every other day. Yes, this posting schedule was approved by a Meta media expert.
We recommend to post between 3 to 5 times a week, so I think you're on a good amount there.
Lie number 2, hashtags don't matter anymore. Honestly, this was a lie that I was kind of telling myself, if I'm totally real with you.
I noticed that you aren't using any hashtags in at least the recent ones that I see here. Is there any reason?
It's not so much that I thought hashtags were totally irrelevant on Instagram in 2024. It's more that I had concluded they weren't worth my time. Let's just talk about this for a second though, because the purpose of hashtags has really evolved over the years on Instagram. A lot of us are used to the concept of hashtags as they were back in the olden days of like 2018, 2019. Back then, the purpose of hashtags was to get your content in places, in feeds where your ideal viewers might be browsing. For example, back then I remember using hashtags like hashtag the every girl and hashtag OOTD, with the idea that people who might like my content might literally go to their way to search up hashtag the every girl or hashtag OOTD, or they might click on that hashtag from another creator that they follow and start browsing, and then they would find me. Okay, so maybe people used to do that, but let's just be really honest. When was the last time you were browsing a hashtag? Because I can't remember the last time I did that. This is just not really the way that people are finding content and finding creators on Instagram anymore. So what are hashtags actually useful for now? I'm gonna let my past self explain. I don't know, I feel like I've become like disenchanted with hashtags. I wonder like, you know, what impact does this actually have? What, you know, there's lots of different strategies out there. People talking, like back in the day, it was like, use all 30 that you're allowed to, like use them all. And then I kind of felt like that was spammy. And I know now the recommendation is, you know, 3 to 5 hashtags. So I'd love to hear what your kind of philosophy around that is.
Yeah, of course. And the amount that you got is close. We recommend 3 to 8.
Okay, yeah.
3 to 8 hashtags, so it can be a little bit more if you really need to, but we recommend that they be very specific to your content. So I know there's like, obviously I see that you probably wouldn't be using those, but those ones that are like hashtag viral, hashtag real, those ones obviously don't do anything. There are keywords and everything, but it is also helpful if there's a hashtag, because when they search, hashtags can pop up too when they're like searching through the explore page and stuff. So that's one reason why we really recommend them.
It kind of sounds like from what you're saying, the focus is maybe more on like the SEO, like, and also like trying to like give more information, like more metadata to the algorithm about like what your content is about. Is that, am I on the right track with that, or like is there another kind of function?
That's absolutely it.
Fast forward to 2024, the purpose of hashtags has really changed. It's not so much about finding people where they're browsing in the app, because that's not really how people use Instagram now. Rather, hashtags are for providing additional information to the algorithm to help categorize your content and give the algorithm information about who to serve your content to. Basically, the more that Instagram knows about the content that you're posting, the better it will do at identifying who it's for, and therefore it will surface it on more people, or like the right people's Reels feeds, explore pages, etc. I'm sort of thinking about Instagram hashtags more in the same way that I think about tags here on YouTube, which is to provide additional data about your content. Maybe use alternate phrases that people might be searching for other than the title of your video. So the Instagram equivalent of that would be like using alternate keywords that you haven't already used in your caption. In general, you just want to think about it like, how can I provide the algorithm with more information about the reel that I just posted? Instagram growth line number 3, you need to use trending audios to get views. Okay, look, I know when you're scrolling and you come across videos about Instagram advice, the common topic that people seem to always be obsessing over is how to choose trending audios. People talk about this a lot, about how you need to find an audio that's kind of on the come up right now, that has less than 5,000 uses, and if you use that with your video, then you're more likely to go viral. I understand where people are coming from with this one, and it's not like it's completely false. Like, yeah, it can be useful to use trending audios on your reels, but it is not at all the only way that you can grow with Instagram Reels. In fact, you can create really effective reels that help grow your account without using music from Instagram's music library at all. In fact, my personal preference is to create reels using background music from Epidemic Sound, who is the sponsor of today's video. Now, I'll be honest, it is all about balance. I like to post a couple trendy reels per week and a couple original reels per week, and my original reels that are more in the style of YouTube videos, like talking head, maybe I'm explaining a concept or sharing a tutorial. In those videos, I really like to use Epidemic Sound. In case you haven't heard of them before, Epidemic Sound is, in my opinion, the best music library online for creators. They have over 40,000 songs and over 90,000 sound effects. And the music on their platform is restriction free, which means because I have a subscription, I can use the music in the background of my YouTube videos, in my Reels, in TikToks if I want, in my podcast. All you have to do is sign up for one simple subscription, and then you can sync all your social accounts with it, and then your content is protected from copyright strikes. Plus, you can always find the right music for every scenario. You can browse by genre, you can browse by mood. Or a feature that I personally love is Epidemic Sound will actually recommend music based on the content on your YouTube channel and based on your past downloads. So it's just so easy to find music that you know you're gonna like. What's really cool is you can even download stems of the song. So say you like this track, but you don't love the drums in the background, you can download the stems, remove the percussion, and then you're good to go. I highly recommend Epidemic Sound to all creators, whether your primary platform is YouTube or Instagram. It is super useful for you. So you can find the perfect soundtrack for your content today on Epidemic Sound. Make sure you click the link in my description to go check it out. Moral of the story is you don't necessarily need to use trending audios on every reel. It's much more about creating reels that are high quality, they're engaging, they provide some value to your viewers. You can see these are a couple examples of reels that I made that had Epidemic Sound music in the background, and they still performed really well. It got a lot of views. And another benefit of this, which I personally really appreciate, is that when you do this, you can very easily cross-post the same short-form video to Reels and to TikTok and to YouTube Shorts without worrying about finding the trending audio on the other apps. Sometimes I do that. Like, I'll post a Reel with a trending audio and then I will go over to TikTok and I'll start searching around trying to find the same audio, and it's possible, but it's kind of a pain. And so it makes my life so easy when I use other music in the background of my Reels, and then I can just upload the same file to all the different platforms, and it takes way less time. And as you can see, I've proven it's not gonna hinder you in the algorithm in any sense. Lie number 4, and this is kind of a spicy one. You need to edit your Reels inside the Instagram Reels editor to get a boost in the algorithm. This is such a persistent lie, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, almost all of the advice that you get from people talking about how to grow with Reels, they'll talk about the benefit of editing your video within the Instagram Reels editor. And if you're like me, you probably find that very frustrating, because personally, I don't like editing stuff on my phone. Like, I don't know, I have too big of hands and my phone's too little. It just feels very frustrating. I want to use my laptop, and I'm way faster that way. Plus, the Instagram Reels editor is just very glitchy a lot of the time. I am here to definitively tell you today, it is not necessary to edit your videos in the Instagram Reels editor in order to get some arbitrary boost in the algorithm. Let's do a really quick game of true and false. Okay, first one. Reposting a TikTok with the TikTok watermark will be less favored in the algorithm and therefore receive less views than a Reel without that watermark. Okay, that is true. Instagram has said that themselves. If you post content that's like grainy and has a watermark jumping around on it, that is not going to get as much reach in the algorithm. And it's not because there's some secret plot to get you to edit your stuff inside their app. It's more that, like, that's not very nice to look at. Like, people don't really want to see content that looks janky like that. They know it will likely get less engagement, so they're not gonna push it. Okay, number 2. Posting a Reel that you edited outside of Instagram, like in CapCut or Premiere Pro, for example, will get less views. This is false. Instagram doesn't really care where you edited your video as long as it's high quality and engaging and like gets people to keep watching Reels, right? Just listen to the meta media expert that I talked to address this exact question.
In your opinion, like, does it really matter whether you've edited your Reel inside the Instagram app or whether you've, like, say for me, I edit them in Premiere Pro and then I like upload them through the app, obviously. A lot of people feel like they have this like superstition around it. So I'm just curious your opinion on that.
Yeah, so in those cases, it doesn't matter where you edit it as long as the quality is there. So for example, if you edit it on another app and then when you put it here on Instagram and you go to like post it, it comes out blurry, or for example, there's like a logo from another app,
yeah,
or a watermark or something. That's what'll affect the engagement, sorry.
Yeah.
The reach that it has.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, as long as it looks clear, as long as it looks good, there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, last true or false for you. Using text from within the Instagram Reels editor rather than from an outside editing platform will help the performance of your video. This one is a definite maybe. Okay, so for one thing, using the text from within the app where you're posting, whether this is on Instagram or TikTok, honestly, can help the video to feel more like it's from that platform. And I think what this comes down to is when you use fonts that are from outside of the app because you're editing somewhere else, sometimes it can come across a bit like your video is an ad, because frequently that is what ads look like. Like, ads are not usually made within the app, they're made somewhere else, and so people kind of have that association. So if anything, it's kind of like that one small factor of like, okay, it might feel a little bit more like native to the app if you see the text from within Instagram on a Reel. I don't think that's necessarily make or break, but it is kind of a factor in the reception of your video by viewers. Now, some people say that it helps with SEO to have the text from within the editor like on screen. I don't think we have any confirmation that that is actually the case. Like, as far as we know, when a video gets uploaded like that, text just becomes baked into the imagery anyway. And I would say if you're concerned about SEO and you want to give your video as many keywords as possible, give it a better chance of showing up in search, I would just make sure to include all of the main keywords in the caption that you write about the Reel. At the end of the day, where you edit your Reel is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that you create a video that is interesting and engaging and provides value to your audience. Personally, I edit like 90% of my reels in Premiere Pro simply because I am faster at editing in Premiere Pro, and any of those marginal benefits that I might get by using like the in-app text or having that extra boost of SEO, I don't personally think that's worth it to me for how much extra time it takes me to edit on my phone rather than doing it on my laptop. If editing in the Reels editor is faster for you and easier and more efficient, then more power to you, use it. But I think a lot of people are stressing out about this one small factor that ultimately is not that impactful in the overall performance of your Reels. Focus on coming up with good concepts, good ideas for Reels that are going to connect with the people that you want to have in your community. Focus on capturing a lot of visuals and telling a good story within your video, and that is going to have a much larger return on investment for you than just trying to edit more often in the Reels editor. Okay, friends, I am glad that we addressed those myths today. I'm glad I got all of that off my chest, and my hope is that now you have kind of freed up some mental space to focus on the things that are most important when it comes to your content creation and your audience growth. If you're kind of curious about what I think an effective Instagram growth strategy for 2024 would look like, you can check out this video that I posted a bit earlier this year about my personal plan for growth on Instagram, my content schedule, my strategy, what it's all gonna look like. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!